I have told all your people about your justice. I have not been afraid to speak out. I have talked about your faithfulness and saving power.
Christianity, although it's a very personal thing, it was never intended to be private. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, we kind of hoarding it to ourselves. It reminds me of that little weird, slimy, creepy dude with just a couple of hairs from the Lord of the Rings movie. He was real weird. He wanted that ring so bad, and he didn't want to share with anybody, and he called it precious. He's really weird. So do me a favor, don't be weird. Share Jesus with someone.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life.
You know, Christianity is available to everybody. But here's the deal. It's available to everybody only if everybody who has it already shares it. Precious.
I have told all your people about your justice. I have not been afraid to speak out, as you, O Lord, well know. I have not kept the good news of your justice hidden in my heart. I have talked about your faithfulness and saving power. I have told everyone in the great assembly of your unfailing love and faithfulness. Now you heard the words, right? What's the common thread that goes through there? What is it? I've told. I got to tell someone about it, right? I got to tell someone about it. It's not like this, I got something, someone gave me $10. You were walking down the road and you found a dollar bill. That'd be kind of cool, right? We've all done that, haven't we? Once or twice in our life, found a dollar bill. Woo, right? What if you found a $1,000 bill? Would you call anybody? Heck yes. You would. You'd tell people. When something awesome happens, you got to tell them. Who's ever been in love? You got to tell your buddies, right? Woo! I got this chick, man. She's crazy good. Crazy love. Woo! She is. She's hot. I love her. She loves Jesus. Perfect. I love it. I got to tell everyone. I told you all about it. I couldn't help it because I love her. And I love Jesus, so I got to tell people about him, right? So listen, we're going to talk about 4 things tonight. But here's a crazy, wacky thing. The whole subject of telling, back burner. Back burner for a moment. That's number 4. But I want to go over 3 things that he does talk about. Because it's important. You got to tell people something that's real. You got to tell them the truth. You can't make stuff up. This ain't no fairy tale, right? You got to tell them the truth. And so David tells us, this is what I've said. Okay, this is the first one. He talks about God's justice. He said in verse 9, I have told all your people about your justice. I have not been afraid to speak out, as you, O Lord, well know. Now, he's talking about all your people, right? It's not just the believers. Listen, he's not afraid to tell everyone about the justice of God. Now, what is this justice? There's a sense that there's this sovereign being that watches over everything, right? That sees everything, that hears everything, that feels everything. Listen, if you're a kid, you can tuck your toys under the bed, and maybe you trick mama, but you ain't tricking God. He sees everything, right? And you need to know it. Everyone must know that. That, listen, here's justice. You do this, you get that, right? Psalm 62:12 says, surely you repay all people according to what they do. Every single person. You can't hide. You can't run. He sees everything, and surely he repays how many people for what they do? Everyone, all of them, right? Now, a lot of people say, well, you know what? You got to behave yourself. You ever hear someone say, well, I'm not going to lie in church, right? You hear that? Can't lie in church. Yeah, they lie everywhere else, right? I worked in the car dealership, right? Cussing sailors, right? But you know what's amazing? They never cuss in front of their kids. It's amazing. I wouldn't do that in front of my kids. Oh, you'll do it here. Well, it's different. We're car guys. Like someone somewhere along the line said that it's like over here you can be this person, but when you go to church, you got to be on your best. Really? Who said that? Yeah, I don't know. I never heard. It's not in there. You see, the Bible that I read says that he repays how many people for everything they do? Everybody, right? There's a justice throughout the universe that you can't hide from. And Galatians 6:7 says it perfectly. It says, don't be misled. Don't be misled. You cannot mock the justice of God. You will always harvest what you plant. It doesn't make it, listen, if you sow seeds of discord in this church, division. If you are greedy, no blessings. If you're mean to your husband, mean to your wife, look out. I heard a preacher tell recently that I listen to all the time, you can never, and I agree, you can never get to a good place by constantly doing bad. And you can never get to a bad place by constantly doing good. It's a law of the universe. There is a just God who sees everything, and no matter what you do, if you do good, you can get good. Not all the time. But if you do bad, you're going to get bad. It's not going, you can't run from it. There is a justice throughout the universe that you cannot avoid. And some people think that they can run and hide, and it can be okay to do it here, and then I'll just go to church and make my confession, and everything's going to be okay. You know what? If I go in that confession booth, it's only that one guy, and he doesn't even really see me because it's dark. So I'll just confess it, and it makes me feel better. Really? The truth of God's word says this. Numbers 32:23. You can be sure that your sin will find you out. You may feel better because you just went into a dark closet and said, I did this. But remember something. God, the creator of heaven and earth, whose eyes go back and forth across the universe, he knows what you did. He knows what I do. And you can't hide. And no matter what somebody tells you, you cannot mock the justice of God. You will get what you deserve in the end.